It's not exactly a surprise that Republicans are falling in line with Trump's war with Iran. But for some Republicans, this goes way beyond politics. For some, there are overt religious overtones in the wake of all of this. Watch.
We're the great Satan in their analogy and their misguided religion, and there was no way to appease them.
We share the same interests. And because of this, we face an essential test. Whether our nations will be and remain Western nations with distinct characteristics, Christian nations under God.
I'm curious, Eamon, I want to ask you what you make of some of the rhetoric that we've seen over the last several days. There is the sort of, we are a Christian nation. I think it's very interesting and sort of eyebrow-raising to hear Speaker Johnson there say misguided religion. We didn't even have time in that intro to get into Matt Schlapp from CPAC basically suggesting on a show that the young girls killed at the school that was struck at the start of this war, that they're almost better off dead because they would have been living their lives in burqas. We have been hearing stuff like this from people at the top of leadership down to right-wing social media creators now for days. And I'm just curious what you think it tells us about this war, but then, of course, just the state of our discourse in this country right now.
It tells me that our current administration is animated by a white Christian nationalist ideology. And that is very dangerous, because if we were seeing this type of religious overtone play out among world leaders, certainly in the Middle East, we would call them theocracies, and we would say that they are run by religious extremists. And the truth is, our current administration is run by religious extremists. We see that in people like Mike Huckabee. We see that in people like Lindsey Graham. We see that in the words that you just played right there. We see that from the way the president has taken the Oval Office, an office of the people, and made it exclusively for him and the pastors that come and pray on him and pray for him, and the language of these people that are used in animating this ideology. And I think of the service members that are Muslim or atheists or non-believers or Jewish or Hindu, and all of the different religious members of our armed forces who are fighting and risking their lives in this war, who have to watch their commander-in-chief evoke these religious sentiments while they are fighting a war that they believe is for the greater good of all Americans and not just for the advancement of a set of Christian values or a set of Christian ideas. So it's extremely disturbing. And as somebody who has covered a lot of extremism overseas and governments that are animated by religious ideology, it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing this now in this country, given the trend of the last several years. And we see it animate itself not just in war, we see it animate itself in the language that is used against immigrants. We talk about the purity of blood in this country, something that Donald Trump has used before. And I think that is very disturbing and extremely troubling language to come from this administration.
I think there's also a certain irony or obliviousness, I'm not even sure what the right word is, that at the same time that you are hearing our leadership, members of our leadership, including the defense secretary, talk about the importance of having a Christian nation, and we are all Christian nations under God. That we are hearing politicians in this country warn about Islamic law.
Right.
You know, coming for your kids, coming for your family. You had a segment last week where you were talking, your column, I think it was recently, talking about this scaremongering about Sharia law that was coming for your family, this religious law that you all Americans were going to be subject to another faith that they did not choose. And meanwhile, of course, we have our democratically elected administration doing the same thing.
Pete Hegseth. Again, we've talked about him on the show before. He has brought Doug Wilson, I mean, one of the most notorious Christian nationalists, a man who does not believe women should be able to vote.
Yep. Basically
thinks that women should be subjected to all kinds of restricted laws and trapped at home. He has prayed over our armed forces and at the Pentagon, and has this close relationship with a key person in the administration. And I think that sort of says it all, to your point there, Catherine.
And Will point out, though, that there's always been this latent strain within the military of it being a crusade, but usually military leadership respects the civilian military divide. And, well, civilian leadership, rather, respects the military divide. And you see where that just is not happening right now. We'll leave it there.